You're listening to the Flickcast, a podcast about stuff nerds love. I am Chris Ulrich, and joining me, of course, Joe Dilworth. Hey, Joe, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, just sitting around thinking geeky thoughts,
Geeky thoughts?
That
That's
didn't
good.
sound right. That didn't sound good. Sorry.
That's not illegal yet. The thought police haven't gotten you.
That's right. Whoa, you're thinking about fiction. We need to bring you in.
Bring it. Yeah. There was that. I was thinking about that Tom Cruise movie, The Precogs. What was it called?
Minority Report.
Minority Report. Yeah, that's a cool movie, and of course Spielberg directed it, so it's got that Spielberg sheen and the Janusz Kaminski shtick look to it too. But that was a pretty good film. I thought. I think Tom Cruise does a really good job with Spielberg because they work together at least a couple of times. Right? The War of the Worlds movie too.
Yeah. I really liked Minority Report, and they actually did a short-lived TV series. That kind of continued the story that I actually liked the show. I thought it was pretty good, but most everyone else did not like it. So,
it didn't survive, sadly.
No.
You should have seen this coming. Oh, anyway, because they're precogs. Get it?
Yes. Yeah. That's like whenever the celebrity psychics go file for bankruptcy. It's like you should have known.
You should have known, yeah. Well, they only know about you. They don't know about themselves.
That's right. It doesn't work that way. You don't understand. That's not how it works.
You don't understand my powers, man.
Right.
I would still love that X-Files episode. I don't know if it's not Clyde Bruckman. Maybe it was. Anyway, that's one of the best X-Files episodes, and I can't remember the title of it, but I think it is. Maybe it's Clyde Bruckman. But
I think it was
the guy who kills the psychic at the beginning. He's like, "You're a psychic. You should have seen this coming because you knew
yes.
you should have known I was going to murder you."
Exactly.
Still one of the classic X-Files episodes.
Yes.
With Peter Boyle.
Yep.
And a very naughty dog.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Which Scully takes with her, but and that dog makes another appearance at least in X-Files, more than one.
I'm pretty sure that was her dog.
What, Gillian Anderson's dog?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Is it Jillian or Gillian?
I think it's Jillian.
Okay, because I always say Jillian, and this one time I said Gillian Anderson, which I know is incorrect, bro. Yeah. It sounds weird, like Gilligan Anderson.
Well, no, there's a writer who's written for Highlander and stuff like that who is Gillian Horvath instead of Jillian. So,
well, is that Irish, Gillian?
I think
maybe?
So. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You know about Highlander. You do a Highlander podcast, don't you?
I do.
Yes, you're seeing another podcast on the side.
Yeah, it's only once a month. It's not that big a deal.
Or maybe this is your side piece. I don't know.
It could be, maybe so.
It's hard to know. But anyway, this is going to be an unorthodox. Well, I don't know if unorthodox is the word. It's going to be a different kind of episode. We're going to talk about, since the end of the year is nigh.
Yes.
2022 is almost over. We're going to think about and talk about things that we're looking forward to for 2023. And there's a lot of things, actually. A lot of films, a lot of TV, streaming, whatever you want to call it, books, comics.
So much stuff.
So much stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches, especially if you're a nerd and love nerd stuff. So we probably should just jump right into it. Do you want to talk about like movies?
Yeah, let's hit movies first. Sure.
Let's hit it.
Let's hit it. Yeah.
I've got a lot. I mean, there's a lot. We've talked about some of them last week. We talked about, the other thing I need to mention is I want to apologize to everybody about the editing issues for last week's episode. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues, but then also in the sort of rush to get the episode out in time, and also we're going to end up coming out on Wednesdays from now on too, but not Tuesdays. But that's a separate thing. There was a piece of business left in the episode for a while that shouldn't have been in there, and it makes me sound like a terrible parent, and I realize. So I do not yell at my child that often, but he was being loud, so he deserved it. Anyway, that's gone now, hopefully. So I apologize about that if it disturbed anybody. But truthfully, at least the feedback that I got from people was, "Oh, is that a bit? You doing a bit? Because that was funny."
Right.
Like,
yes.
That was not a bit, but thank you for saying.
See, then anyway, you should have just been like, "Yes, everyone, thanks for noticing the bit. We took it out, but."
Yeah, thanks for noticing the comic bit that was in there. But,
we're trying some new material on the show.
Exactly. So if I've learned anything, it's also mute my mic when I say something. So.
Yes, that's pretty important.
So I don't know. I actually was thinking about it. Would like 2 minutes of dead air been better? I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway. So my apologies if anyone was offended. Again, all the feedback that I've got has been positive, but no one's ever said, you're a terrible parent. I know I'm not a very good parent, so that's fine.
It was all, hell yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, you're funny. That's super funny.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
And say funny things and have your child on the show, but I'm not going to do that.
No.
Okay, so that out of the way, my mea culpa, if you want to call it, is past, and now I can discuss movies that I'm looking forward to in 2023. So here's a couple that I'm going to throw out.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Let's see. What do we got here? Okay, I got my list. I got to scroll through it. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Woo! Yes.
That's going to be awesome.
I don't know why I did that, but...
Woo! February 2023.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. Feel free to jump in anytime. John Wick 4.
Absolutely, John Wick 4.
Super dope. I'm looking forward to that in March. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, baby.
I was just about to say that one because I was looking at my list too. I think we have
March
a similar
2023.
list.
Not looking forward to Super Mario movie. Don't care about that.
No,
although I do like
really?
I like Anya Taylor-Joy, but
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in May for my birthday.
Yay! That's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say anything about Fast X because I don't care about that. Fast 10. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in June of 2023.
Along with The Flash.
Also in June of 2023. And then the 100-pound Dial of Destiny in the room.
The 100-pound Dial of Destiny.
June 30th, 2023, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, starring the 90-year-old Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones.
Where he travels back in time and they erase Indiana Jones and replace him with a woman. So, sorry, folks. That's right. That's not going to happen. But still.
In the alternative reality, Indiana Jones has a vagina. There you go.
Yes.
Sorry. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. And I don't care. I will fucking watch any Mission Impossible movie. I don't care.
I absolutely. If they make 85 of those, I'm there for each and every one. As long as I'm alive. I'm sure they've got technology to keep Tom Cruise immortal.
Tom Cruise is basically a robot at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will totally watch that. I mean, there's a photo on a couple of websites circulating around where it's Tom Cruise and Simon Pegg, and the only person who looks like halfway decent now is Ving Rhames. He still looks the same.
I know.
But Tom Cruise is finally looking older. Simon Pegg is looking tore up a little bit too. I feel bad.
He is. Tom Cruise seems to be I don't know, puffing up a little bit. I don't know what's going on there, but he's getting old like the rest of us, I guess. But
well, he's like almost 60, right?
That's true.
How many times can you jump across a building? But Rebecca Ferguson still looks spectacular too, and Vanessa Kirby both. I love Haley Atwell in the movie. Plum Clementif.
But yeah, you're right. Ving Rhames still looks exactly like he did in Pulp Fiction.
He does. He's ageless. I love that.
I know.
Oppenheimer. Totally looking forward to that. Anything with Christopher Nolan and explosions, I'm down. And there's big explosions in this one.
The Marvels.
One big one.
The Marvels. We got to go see that. That's another Marvel.
Right.
Movie.
The Marvels. Yeah, we're gonna go through these quick, and then we can talk.
You didn't. You're gonna mention Meg too? I mean, a Jason Statham movie. Come on. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, it's Meg. I have a friend who could do a perfect Jason Statham impression, but that is not. I'm not him. It's amazing. It's terrible.
How long on those sausages?
Sausages. I just remember the Jason Statham from what's that movie?
Stash.
Oh my God.
Snatch.
No, Snatch. Yeah. Him. He's like, the Germans?
Yeah. What do you need a gun for? Are you afraid of the Germans?
Germans?
What the hell was that about? It was funny though. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It's just Guy Ritchie he really just needs to make English gangster films forever.
Absolutely.
He does such a great job. The characters are so interesting. What was his name in the movie? Spanish? No. Who was the character?
Turkish.
That's it, Turkish. Which makes no sense because he's not Turkish. But anyway, yeah, the Marvels. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be interesting. Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio as Roosevelt. Okay, I don't know about that, but
Expendables 4.
You got to give Scorsese a chance. Okay, is anyone else besides me looking forward to the Barbie movie? Because I think the Barbie movie is going to be amazing.
I think it's actually going to be really funny. Because
Greta Gerwig directing, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Come on, Ryan Gosling as Ken. I mean, what else could there be? He's basically Ken.
Exactly. I think that's going to be Will Ferrell's in it too. I think it's going to be a very funny movie.
Oh well, now it's going to suck.
Yeah, that's it. I'm out.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is Kraven the Hunter.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah. Well, maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe. But then a big giant worm is coming in
Yeah.
November.
Wow, that's what kind of movies are you talking about now?
I'm talking about Dune Part 2 with
Part 2.
Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, also Rebecca Ferguson again, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård. Josh Brolin comes back? I guess he does.
Well, speaking of Timothy, because we're Tim, as I call him, because we're close.
Tim Chalamet, yes.
He's got another movie coming out just after that, Wonka. A prequel to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Johnny Depp ruined any other Willy Wonka films for me. That was the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Chalamet's going to bring it back. I'm telling you.
He's gonna make the turn. But I just want to talk about Dune for 1 second.
Okay.
It's got our buddy Dave Bautista in it, right?
It does, yes.
Good old Dave Bautista as the Beast Raban. But they finally, they got their other people, and they got their It'll be interesting to see Florence Pugh again. Remember we were like stunt casting this thing? I think one of the people we picked was Florence Pugh.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, it's not like, it's a surprise because, she's basically picked for everything now, I guess. But
and then we'll of course, I'm sure, get a good speech from the Baron Harkonnen saying, "You want to know why I do this? I don't get any glory from this. I don't,
Yeah.
So because
whatever speech.
Stellan Skarsgård. Sorry,
Exactly. He's great. Yeah, I do it. I like a calculation that I made 100 years ago.
Yes, exactly. See. Yes.
I was there with you.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken as the Emperor.
I know that's worth watching it right there.
Walken. And then, of course, a sort of a surprise left field pick for Fade Rotha, Austin Butler, who was great in Elvis. I enjoyed Elvis a lot, but I don't know that that's the person I would have gone for. But hey,
I don't know. I can kind of see it.
I can sort of see it because he's got that kind of like, I don't know, but Fade is supposed to be like super deadly, and I don't know if maybe Austin Butler can. I'm sure he can pull it off. I mean, I'm sure he's brilliant, but I kind of thought maybe I was going a different way. So, but no, it's going to be it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to Dune Part 2.
Part 2. Yes.
Part 2. And then, like you said, Wonka, and then they're remaking Color Purple. Oh, it's the musical.
Yes.
Finally, and then there'll be an untitled, and there's a Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel apparently.
Yes.
In December.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Gil Kennan's directing it. The main cast so far from Ghostbusters Afterlife, the Spangler family is back, and including Paul Rudd will be in there too. Yeah. So
Finn Wolfhard probably,
and I'm pretty certain at least Winston will be in it. Ernie Hudson.
More.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, they basically teased him for like he's going to come back for sure.
I don't know that Ray and Venkman will be in it. Maybe, especially since I guess Bill Murray is not a nice guy or a grumpy old man.
He's troublesome. Yeah. So
Ray will probably be in it, but I'm pretty sure Ernie Hudson will have a key role in it. So
yeah. Dan Aykroyd will come back and
probably Annie Potts too. I mean, why not? So
why not bring everybody back? Yeah, bring the whole gang.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver too.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be a nice Christmas present in next December. So.
Yeah, and also we'll get a Christmas present with Jason Momoa in a Speedo too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's enjoyable for everyone, right? I mean, let's be honest.
It is enjoyable. Men and women both can enjoy the Jason Momoa. Absolutely.
Although now apparently he's going to pivot from being Aquaman to being Lobo, if you believe the YouTube gossip. So
it's so funny you say that because I know people who were trying to get a Lobo movie made for so long.
He would be perfect for it.
He would, and they did. A friend of mine did basically a short film with another friend of ours as Lobo, and he did a great job. But he's not Jason Momoa, obviously.
Right.
And I'm like, why would you cast him? He's not Aquaman. He's fucking Lobo. I mean, that is it's like you just plug him in, and he's that exact person.
Exactly.
And so the fact that he's going to do that, if he's going to do it, I think it's cool. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch another Aquaman film. I don't have any hate for Amber Heard. I'll watch it. It's fine.
Even some of the stuff he's done as Aquaman, I'm like, that's totally Lobo. That would be great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
You're my man. It's like,
my man. Yeah. That's it.
There's a short-lived, I guess it went 2 seasons, so not very short-lived, but that show Krypton that took place on Krypton with Superman's grandfather. They had a guy play Lobo on that, and he was okay, but it was funny because the whole time I was thinking, damn, Momoa would just be perfect for this role. So you know what? If they pivot in that direction, I'm totally behind it. I think it would be great.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens with James Gunn. But I mean, now of course James Gunn is getting criticism for allegedly canceling the new Wonder Woman film.
He's canceled everything apparently.
He's canceled everything, yeah. And some people are like, well, they analyzed the box office for Suicide Squad and like, oh well, this made this, and then Wonder Woman 2 made this, and then he gets to run DC, and Patty Jenkins gets canned. And I'm like, she's a woman, and I don't know if that's true. Maybe she did get canned. Maybe she's, I don't know. Wonder Woman 1984 was kind of not good. I hate to say it.
Right. I mean, the first one was good, but
Suicide Squad was terrific. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about two different films here, obviously, but I really enjoyed Suicide Squad, and I did not enjoy Wonder Woman 1984 very much.
Well, and there's some, some people are saying, well, she didn't necessarily get fired. They were like, hey, can you do some rewriting on this and put this in there and move this around? And she's like, no, I'm good, and I'm just going to walk away. Thanks. So.
Yeah,
creative
differences are a thing.
I find it hard to believe that. Well, first of all, that Patty Jenkins will have any difficulty finding more work, but I also find it. James Gunn is smart. I don't think he's like wholesale. Like, we're canceling everything. I am confident we are going to see another Henry Cavill Superman appearance, if not movie.
Sure.
And I'm, if you have Gal Gadot that enthusiastic about Wonder Woman, you're not going to go, yeah, we don't want to use you anymore. We're going to recast. So I don't know.
Well, and if they do end up recasting and they do end up doing a whole new reboot or whatever, people will still go see it. I mean,
Absolutely.
All they really need to do is keep releasing a new Batman film every year. And
yeah, there you go.
It doesn't even matter if it's the same guy. It could be a different guy. It could be Robert Pattinson. It could be fucking Ben Affleck. It could be Casey Affleck. It could be Paul Rudd. It doesn't matter. It could be Jason Momoa as Batman. No one cares.
And honestly, if they do, like, we're going to restart the whole thing, the fact that they're mapping out a 10-year plan, it's like, okay, I'm behind that. I mean, it's not like we haven't had different Superman actors and different Batman actors in the past. So.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Pattinson's Batman.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed that movie. They're making another one. They're supposed to do that Penguin series with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But if you're somebody like James Gunn, who I would imagine, and no disrespect to the man at all, but I would imagine likes to exert a certain amount of creative control over all of his stuff, you're not necessarily going to come into something that you've committed to try to, for lack of a better word, fix. And not just sort of maybe even cancel everything. I can't see that being negative. It's like, it's going to happen. It's like, you know what? We're not going to do these things, or we're going to try to fix them or whatever, change them. And if people don't want to fit in, that's fine. And maybe that's what happened with Patty Jenkins. I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't, fuck you, you're fired.
Right.
But it could have been creative differences. It could have been a lot of things, or it was just, we're not going to do these movies as they exist. We're going to do something different. And
and that's why I
can't really blame him for that.
Yeah, that's why I fully expect Superman and Lois, even though I love that show, that this next season is likely to be its last, because that's the other thing they're talking about, is wanting to unify the DC TV and films and everything as one, which is smart and makes sense because that's what Marvel's doing and it's working. It's like, well, we should do the same thing, because I know a lot of people that are like, who's this? What's this Flash movie? That's not Grant Gustin. What's going on? That's weird.
Yeah.
So I get wanting to do that. And, of course, here's the thing, take everything, especially right now, that you're reading, with a grain of salt. There's not some guy that's sitting in the same room with, Gunn and the other dude as they're planning this all out, and then immediately going and phoning up some dude that has a YouTube channel going, you'll never guess what's going to happen. So a lot of it is made up bullshit, and a lot of it is I can tell you that people are very good at being able to, I mean, we can do it, very good at extrapolating, oh, I bet this is going to happen, and then just wholesale making up bullshit, because that's how they get the clicks, right? That's how they get people to crush that like button. So
crush it.
Yeah.
Crush it good. And of course, James Gunn then went onto Twitter to say, oh, no, all of this stuff isn't true. Some of it might be true. Some of it isn't true.
And some of we haven't even decided on yet.
We haven't even decided yet. And he still wants to, he wants Henry Cavill back as Superman.
Yeah.
He likes Henry Cavill. Whether he likes Black Adam or not, because Black Adam, I guess, for all intents and purposes, is not a successful film, which I can kind of understand. It's like, okay, great, but why?
Right.
Did you make a Black Adam film that a character that basically no one's heard of, and not have him fight Shazam, which is his arch rival?
Right.
Why didn't you have Zachary Levi fight Black Adam in the movie? I would have watched that.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, and I think Shazam is a pretty good example of a medium, modestly budgeted, modestly quote unquote, which was successful, and they're making another one of those. Obviously, the Shazam 2 coming out soon, and it looks pretty good. But there probably won't be a third one. Maybe there will. But yeah, I mean, I don't fault him. If you're going to take on something this monumental, you're going to want to put your own stamp on it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
unless
absolutely.
people think that you're doing it to, unless there's a perception that you're, you're stamping out the female voices or the diversity or whatever.
You're stamping out Zack Snyder. That's even more of a
here's two white dudes taking over.
Crime.
They're gonna, whatever.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Maybe they do want to. 10 years is a long time. Maybe they do want to.
Well, and
redo everything.
Well, they make it 10 years. I mean, it all depends on who shows up. But here's the thing. I mean, as this right here shows you, if you don't like how they're treating the characters or the stories they're telling with the characters right now, just wait a few years and someone else will do it. Maybe not with Marvel, because apparently they seem to be unable to derail themselves. But I mean,
at some point, there's going to be a new Captain America.
Absolutely,
there's going to be a new Iron Man. There's going to be a new Hulk, a new Thor, a new everything.
It'll all change. It's like, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, how many Batman movies?
There was a movie with. Well, there's a movie with 3 fucking Spider-Mans last year.
Right, exactly.
I'm just saying.
Now that they have the multiverse thing, anything can happen, right? So
right, exactly.
Tom Holland isn't always going to want to play Spider-Man, so at that point,
Timothy Chalamet is going to be Spider-Man next. I don't know.
Right, so yeah, it's just like too much hate, man.
Well, it's not hate. It's you're not doing what I want, and so I'm entitled to
yes.
weigh in on your decision making, because this is how I would do it, and you're not doing it the way I want. You're not paying attention to the fans.
I just found it. That's what we need to dedicate our podcast to. Is like, rumors are that James Gunn's already failed. He's getting fired next week.
Fuck the fans. That's what I say.
Maybe we'll do an anti-fans podcast. I like that.
It's not, it's not so much that the fans are the problem, but the fans are kind of a problem sometimes. It's like the sense of entitlement, of ownership of these characters and of anything that you love, and it deviating in any way from your perception of how it should be or your idea of how it should be. And now the internet has emboldened some of these idiots, and they're out there, making probably money by saying shit about it. So it's like people are free to have any kind of opinion they want. It's fine. But I don't think that as filmmakers or as owners, people who run a studio now, or people who are shaping the next 10 years of a DC film franchise, they shouldn't necessarily listen to that, because that's like a tiny vocal group.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And so you have to make things that appeal to you, and James Gunn, if nothing else, will make something that he likes first.
Yeah,
and if it happens to appeal to a lot of other people too, so that's good. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen, but it's not going to make everybody happy, obviously. So
I want to.
You can't.
Since we're still on movies too, I want to give a shout out to a couple of small movies that might have been missed on people's
Magic
list.
Mike XXL.
Yes, that's not small. That's huge.
Oh, I'm sorry, Magic Mike's Last Dance. Yeah. That's not small. That's XXL. I'm just saying.
See.
I've seen Channing Tatum in his underwear. That's not small.
There you go. Adam Driver's making a sci-fi movie called 65 that's coming out in March. That looks really exciting, or sounds really good. I just thought of a couple others. See, Asteroid City, a new Wes Anderson movie. How can you not enjoy a Wes Anderson movie? Come on.
No, that's going to be great. Yeah, I mean, I tried to stick with stuff that nerds are really. Wes Anderson is esoteric. People have to think, and there's whatever they don't want.
The other in the fall, Kenneth Branagh's making another Agatha Christie. I can't speak all of a sudden. Agatha Christie adaptation, Haunting in Venice.
I've really enjoyed his Agatha Christie adaptations.
I really love them. They were, way better than I thought.
Hercule Poirot shaved the beard. I thought that was great.
Yes, yeah. No, those were both of the ones they've made so far have been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to. I hope he keeps making them.
There's a lot of Agatha Christie books. I mean, there's like 10 or 12 books, right? So
yeah.
I think the second one, Death on the Nile, was better than the first one. I enjoyed that more.
Yeah.
Plus, it had Gal Gadot. So that
there you go.
Anything with Gal Gadot, unless it's 1984, and then that was terrible. But
yeah, overall, it looks like Margot Robbie is in a ton of movies this year, which is good.
Shocking, yeah.
Hugh Jackman's in a few, so yeah, this is going to be a good movie. Is anyone looking forward to? Are we officially done with M. Night Shyamalan? I think he's got a new movie, Knock at the Cabin.
No, I will watch his movies. Yeah, I think it's got our buddy Dave Bautista in it. I'm just saying, Dave Bautista,
or Davey, as we call him, because we're like that.
DB. I'm going to call him
DB. Yo, DB, what up? Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I was remiss that there was another Hunger Games film. I forgot to mention.
Oh, well, yes.
Starring Rachel Zegler.
And of course, the Winnie the Pooh horror film.
I'm also looking forward to the long-rumored Constantine 2, which we're supposed to get someday, too. But that's not going to be next year, probably. But,
probably not next year. Oh, and how are we forgetting what's probably going to be the greatest movie next year, Cocaine Bear?
Cocaine Bear. Well, we talked about that a lot last week.
I think we should talk about it every week. I mean, it's...
Cocaine Bear, baby.
That looks so great.
It does. It looks so great and so horrible at the same time.
Yes.
And it's like, I wish I did coke because I really want to watch that. But
Absolutely.
No, don't do drugs, kids.
No.
But I might get really high and watch it.
Let the bears do all the coke.
Let the bears do all the blow, yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's going to be terrific. Cocaine Bear is going to be an amazing experience, or it'll be terrible. But I really think that's something I want to see in a theater with an audience too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you need to experience that in a live setting. So I might break the seal and go to that one. We'll see. Put on my fucking EV suit or whatever and go.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm still wearing a mask at a movie, and people are looking at me like I'm crazy, but I don't care.
That's all right. You'll look at them like they're crazy when they're dying of COVID. Wow, that was cool.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Sorry.
I hope you die.
Wow. Man. I don't know where that came from.
That's a little intense. But yes, I also will see John Wick 4 in the theater because I feel like that's a thing that needs to be in the theater.
Yes.
And of course, Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know why that got pushed back, but I'm hopefully either that means it's terrific or it's terrible, which I'm thinking it's probably not very good, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's got 2 directors, so what could go wrong? Unless they're really, really good working together, like Lord Miller or
the Daniels
or the Daniels, who are basically the same person practically.
Yeah, basically.
And then of course Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So as far as streaming is concerned, there's definitely a bunch of things, but of course the major ones for me and for the nerds, I'm sure, is Mando season 3.
Oh yes,
which I'm very excited about. Which already apparently. They're already working on season 4, so that's good.
Yeah.
Or developing season 4. So there's going to be at least 4 seasons of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So he probably won't get to Mandalore.
Well, that'll be the series finale, right? Yeah.
Right, when he finally gets there. Yeah, all roads lead to Mandalore, and then we'll get Andor season 2 next year.
Maybe. Right? I think that's probably going to go more into 2024 because I don't even think they've started shooting. Are they shooting?
No, they're shooting it already. Yeah, they started right before Thanksgiving. Right. So yeah, I think we'll get Andor season 4 or season 2, Andor season 2 towards the end of 2023. I'm fingers crossed. They're not going to go over. It's not like they're going to do like a Sopranos where it's like 2 years between seasons. People are going to get pissy.
Well, it's not like they're going to get canceled or anything. But
well, that's a good point. So. Yeah, and then Picard season 3.
Or Next Generation Season 8, as I like to call it.
Or Next Generation Season 8.
I am all there for that. That looks great. And I'm assuming at some point during the year we'll also get the new season of Discovery and Strange New Worlds. So.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
They've already. I think season 2 of Strange New Worlds is already in the can. So I think
and season 5 of Discovery just finished filming too. So
yeah. Disco. I'm glad that show keeps going. I'm happy. And again, I'm looking forward to the idea that, and again, I said again twice now, we're just speculating, but I feel like they're really trying to launch, the original series again, kind of thing. So I'm
hoping
excited to see. I'm excited to see where it goes. If it goes from, they're going to, sprinkle in the OG cast or characters, and then eventually just sort of, because they have an end date, right? They have Pikes, whatever, and they could just transition right into Kirk. And I just want to see who plays Scotty. I'm just excited about that.
I know. This is going to be, more Star Trek is, I'm sure there's even Star Trek shows we don't even know about yet that they're going to
have 10 Star Trek shows. I don't mind.
Yep. Star Trek every week. I'm good for that.
Star Trek every week. Exactly. Star Trek of the week. And then I suppose we'll also see the Ahsoka show at some point in 2023. That's when it's supposedly going to be released. What other shows are supposed to come back next year that you're looking forward to?
Loki season 2.
Oh, Loki. Sure,
yeah. And then Echo, which spins off from Hawkeye, which will get some more Daredevil in that and some more, what's his name? Kingpin. Yeah.
Kingpin, you say? Kingpin.
Yes, Kingpin. Of course, as you mentioned, the Penguin show. It sounds like that's going to be airing next year.
Right.
Very much looking forward to that. Yellowjackets season 2.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Finally.
Yeah. See. See what else?
I can't believe it's taking so long to get another season of Yellowjackets. It's ridiculous, but
Well, it's
freaking Showtime.
Jeez. Yeah. Come on.
What the
guys.
hell? Anyway, yeah, that's a great show. If you're sleeping on the Yellowjackets, you should definitely watch it.
Yeah. Now's a good time to catch up. So.
It's not. It's it's got a real Lord of the Flies vibe, but it's not. It's way more than that. And the cast is just spectacular. Everybody's terrific. Even the young girls are great, and obviously the sort of older selves of them, Melanie Lewinsky and Juliette Lewis and Christina Ricci are terrific too. Juliette Lewis is kind of having I don't know want to say a career renaissance, but she's been in a lot of shit, and she's kicking ass. So. Good for her.
I'm looking forward to the Justified revival, Justified City Primeval.
Primeval. Yeah. Are they going to dig some coal? Because that's what matters. We
dug
coal together. I'm just saying.
We dug coal together. Yes, we did. Yeah.
That's the show. That's all you need to know about Justified. They dug coal together.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. And now they can. And that's what shapes the entire season, or the entire series.
It does.
Which is
really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which is interesting for a character. I'm talking about Boyd Crowder, obviously,
yes.
Which is for a character that was supposed to die in like the first episode, right?
Right, and it was like
he was supposed to get killed. Like,
yeah,
because I don't know what Walton Goggins' deal is, but he likes to do characters where he like gets killed in the first couple of episodes.
I don't
want to commit to another show, man.
I don't think Boyd is in the revival because it's in a different city and stuff.
What?
So, and he's also in prison, but.
He's in prison?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Spoilers. Sorry.
Oh man,
sorry.
Why you got to ruin everything?
Well, it's what
do you think Timothy Olyphant is a nice guy or not?
I do. I think he's a decent guy. He seems to be.
I think so too.
Or Timmy, as I call him, but
Timmy, like Timothy Chalamet.
Yes, Timmy. Sorry, no, I don't call them that. I don't call them at all. But if I did,
you should call them. It would be great.
We should call him and get him on the show.
Yeah. Well, I've heard nice things about him. I don't know. I assume he's a nice person, but you never know. I assume Walton Goggins is a nice person too because he seems like a nice person, but I don't really know.
And of course, for me, one of the big high points of the year will be later in the year, around actually towards the end of the year, next year, Doctor Who, and 3 episodes celebrating the 60th anniversary of the show with
60
David Tennant back as a new incarnation of the Doctor, and there will be lots of nostalgia, lots of characters from previous seasons, not just of the new show, but the old show, I'm sure, showing up, because that's what they do when they celebrate on Doctor Who. And it will also be, a nice introduction to the next Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, who will take over full-time going into 2024.
I thought that was coming. Yeah, I thought he was taking over sooner.
No.
Is it he or they?
He.
It's he, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure. I thought they were taking over sooner, but I guess they have this whole roadmap thing.
Yeah, they're shooting his. They actually just started last week shooting his season, and it's weird shooting stuff in England. It takes like 9-10 days to do an episode of TV, and then they got a bunch of post-production, especially now that they have just an astronomically high budget. They got like 10 million or something like that per episode now for budget. So
what?
Yeah, it's crazy because they got a new
Disney
producing partners and Disney coming in, and it will be airing worldwide on Disney except for the UK, where it'll still be on the trusty BBC. As
on the BBC.
Part of, though, as the other thing too, I'm excited in the Doctor Who land is part of the 60th anniversary next year. Big Finish Productions, who does audio productions of Doctor Who with the original actors, primarily with the past from the original show. They are not ones to shy away from celebrating anniversaries. They are doing their own 8-part full cast audio drama marking the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, having the surviving original actors Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and Paul McGann, but also David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston, who has been doing some Doctor Who audios for them as well. So he gets to join in on the 60th anniversary. And, I got to tell you, I do love, watching Doctor Who on TV, but Big Finish really goes all out when they do not just regular Doctor Who dramas, but when they do anniversary stories, they do something really special. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a big year for Doctor Who next year. So.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I know people are excited about Doctor Who. It never really did anything for me, as I've said many times. Sure. But I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I was just looking at Walton Goggins' credits.
Speaking of, let's go back to Walton. Sure.
Apparently, they're developing a Fallout TV show with him, which is based on the video game. But yes, they do not mention him having anything to do with the reboot.
Yes, of Justified. So Fallout will be out next year too, and there's already been some teaser for that. It looks pretty nice. I played Fallout New Vegas a little bit, but I'm not obsessed with it. So, but I have been hearing good things from what's been shown from Fallout fans that are like, "Ooh, yeah, this looks good."
Well, right, and speaking of that, that's another thing I'm looking forward to next year is The Last of Us.
Oh yes,
starring the Mandalorian.
Yes.
If he was actually the Mandalorian in The Last of Us, they'd have a much better time.
Yeah, especially if you brought along Grogu.
So. More likely to survive the post-apocalyptic world.
Yes.
But, The Last of Us is of course, an extremely popular video game, and some of the creators of the video game, the one main creator, I think in particular, and Craig Mazin, who did the Chernobyl show, which is a fantastic show on HBO. If you've never watched it, it's fantastic and horrible at the same time. But really well done. They're doing the Last of Us show, and there's been a couple of trailers out now, and it just looks terrific. And I love post-apocalyptic shit a lot. But but I'm looking forward to watching that. I think it's going to be both entertaining, but sort of harrowing and sad and poignant. I'm not sure of the story because I never played the game, but I feel like he, at some point he's taken this girl somewhere and he doesn't care about her because she's just cargo. But then he'll learn to care, right? He'll grow a heart in the right place, kind of thing.
Right? Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Did you play the game?
No, I didn't. But
we're too old for video games.
Yeah, I don't understand these videos and games and stuff.
It's not too late. I could get a PS4. I don't have a PS4. I'm an Xbox person. I have an Xbox. It's got a new Xbox actually.
Well, aren't they on PS5 now?
Are they? I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a PS person. I'm not a PlayStation person.
I do play computer video games. I'm just not big on console things because there's so many of them out there. Yeah.
No, I just, in fact, I was like, I got my son an Xbox, a new one last year, and I'm like, why does he have a better Xbox than I do? That doesn't seem fair. So I bought myself one. It was a really good Black Friday deal. So that was my one Black Friday splurge.
Okay. Whoa, hey, easy
splurge. I like Pedro Pascal. I thought he was great in that movie with Nick Cage, Unbearable of Amazing Talent or whatever. I can't remember the name of the movie. But I'm sad with names, but he was great in that. He's great in a lot of things. He's good in Mando. Obviously, he can do a lot as a guy with a helmet on. But
sure, yeah.
I think The Last of Us could be interesting. I don't want to also. It is Craig Mazin, but also Neil Druckmann. I don't want to dick with Neil Druckmann because Druckmann had a lot to do with Last of Us too. So I don't want to mess with them. Gabriel Luna, Tommy, and then Bella Ramsey plays Ellie, who is also voiced by what's the actress's name? Who is in Critical Role all the time now. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Jeez.
I can't remember her name. I mean, Critical Role is awesome. I love it. It's weird how much you enjoy watching people play D&D. I don't know why I thought that was going to be fun, and I'm like, I'm not going to be interested in this. So I got into Critical Role late. But it's actually, they do such an interesting job. They really are. Ashley Johnson is her name. Sorry. They do a really good job. It's very entertaining because they're all like really good voice actors. And so they do a lot of fun stuff. I've talked about Critical Role before, I'm sure. But,
yes, you have.
It's terrific. Oh, and Bettina Wesley is also in the show. She was on.
It's going to be a really good shoe.
Really good shoe. What was she in? Was she in? Never mind. What's that? Oh, True Blood. That was it. Anyway, so what else? Anything else that you're looking forward to as far as other nerdy books and comic books? And you said comic books.
There's definitely a comic book I'm looking forward to. It's actually already started, but Miracle Man, which was I could spend a whole episode going into the whole rigmarole of Miracle Man, but it was a character originally known as Marvel Man in the UK from the 50s. That was revived in the 80s by Alan Moore. Of course, by that time, there was already Marvel Comics.
Alan who?
Alan Moore. The original writer, as he likes to be called. He doesn't like to be associated with
I'm just kidding. I know Alan Moore is.
Doesn't like to be associated with his things that he creates and redoes of other people's characters. Anyway, that's a lot.
Alan.
That's a whole other episode. Anyway,
go back to your cave.
He revived Marvel Man in the 80s, and to be published in the U.S., of course, it had to be renamed as Miracle Man because Marvel Comics was like, we kind of own the name Marvel. And he did some great stories with Miracle Man, and eventually he decided, I think I've told everything I'm going to tell. I'm going to hand this off to Neil Gaiman, writer, and who is big. I don't know if you've heard. He's wrote this comic book called, I think it's called Sand something. I don't know. You might have heard of Neil Gaiman, but
Man of Sand.
Yeah. So
Neil Gaiman. Yeah, I think I've heard the name somewhere.
He took it over with artist Mark Buckingham, and they basically did storylines. The Golden Age had moved into a storyline called the Silver Age and had planned the Bronze Age after that. But a couple issues into Silver Age, the publisher that was publishing it went under, and that seemed to be it for the character and the stories forever and ever until... after some weird legal wrangling between Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman and Mark Angelo, who owned the character, just this whole thing. Eventually, everything worked out, and Marvel ended up owning the character, although they didn't rename him back to Marvel Man. But they republished with remastered, coloring and all that kind of stuff, the original Miracle Man comics, and in a weird irony, got up to the part of the issues that Neil Gaiman and Mark Buckingham had done, and then just for some strange reason stopped publishing it. But now it is back. Neil Gaiman and Mark Buckingham have, and maybe the stop publishing was to give them time, but they are going forward with the story they wanted to tell. They're going to complete the storyline Silver Age and move into Bronze Age, and all of this is started to be published now with the issues that were already published being remastered with new artwork, and next year they'll go into new stories 30 years in the making. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I should be their publicist. That was pretty good.
You should. That was a lot of love for that show.
Yeah. So really looking forward to it.
For that
comic book series. Yeah.
Comic book, yeah, I said show, but I meant comic book. Yeah, sorry. I think about shows a lot. We also didn't mention Extraction Part 2. I mean, come on.
Oh, yes. Jeez, of course.
I'm looking at streaming shows and the reboot of Frasier. I mean, come on. Not Frasier, but Frasier.
Not with Brendan Fraser.
But. Not with Brendan Fraser, which I'm interested to find out why Niles is not coming back. But I love Frasier when I was younger. I thought that was a fun show.
That guy played that character for so long. I mean, he was on all season. I think he showed up in the second season of Cheers. And
I feel like it was the second season. Yeah, or maybe mid first season. I mean, remember, that's when they did like 22 episodes.
But he did 10 years on that show. And then 11 years of his own show. And now he's bringing it back. And I mean, I think that's, kind of a
Go for it.
testament to the popularity of the character, or maybe someone who's invested in the character is like, I think there's still some more story to tell there.
We can still beat this dead horse as much as we can.
Yeah, because I don't think Kelsey Grammer is hurting for money or roles, and maybe he's like, I think either somebody came to him with a pitch, or he thought, I want to make some more stories with this. And of course, in the age of as we've seen with many things, in the age of streaming and internet, anything could come back at this point. So,
yeah, I wonder why David Hyde Pierce doesn't want to come back. I don't know. We don't have to talk about Fraser very much, but I'm just curious why. You think it's a money thing? Because he's like, I'm too good for that now because I'm an actor in
there's
movies
been,
and stuff.
I think he's made a couple statements, and at first I think he was like, I haven't heard anything about it, but I wonder if he's just like, he seemed to indicate he's like, I don't really like going back to anything, or maybe, the role wasn't as meaty as it was. Because I wonder,
Kelsey Grammer's an asshole. I don't want to.
But maybe that's his nice way of saying that.
That's the rumor I'm starting. I'm going to ask for an astronomical amount of money, and no one's going to hire me back because I don't want to work with Kelsey Grammer because he's a total cock. There you go. There's the answer.
Well, and it's kind of like, to me, I would have to weigh it against, not that I'm ever going to be in this position, but I have to weigh it against, like, is it, do you think you can catch lightning in a bottle twice or 3 times for this character? But I mean, Niles was a huge part of the original series, but so was the dad, and he's not around anymore.
Yeah, he can't come back. So I think you're right. And if they try to bring back, if the chair is still sitting there and they bring back a different dog or something, it's not going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I think it should be Frasier in a different city. It should be.
It is him in a different city. That's the premise,
it should be. I don't know. Again, we're talking about Frasier way too much, probably.
Probably more than anyone wants to hear, but
more than anyone cares. Yeah, nerds do not love.
I'm going to watch it though because I really like the
me
show.
Too. You know what? I'll give it a chance. Like I do. Are we getting a 3rd season of Witcher in 2023? I think we are.
Yes,
right?
I think in the
summer. The last Henry Cavill series.
And then at the end of season 3, he regenerates into Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, exactly. He gets in a cocoon and becomes emerges.
Yes,
emerges as is Liam Hemsworth playing the same character? He's still playing Geralt?
Yeah,
so. Okay. So that's a way to go, I guess.
That's a decision that was made. That's for sure.
That's a decision that was made. That was a meeting, and decided things. I'm going to say that I feel bad for Liam Hemsworth because there's no way.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, unless you're going to like be amazing, you're just going to be compared to Henry Cavill, and that's not a comparison that most people would want. Probably.
I wouldn't. I mean.
You're not going to have the physicality of a Henry Cavill.
No.
You're not going to be.
No.
You're not going to be as big. You're not going to have those guns, baby. It's not going to happen. So he's going to have to do something different, and I'm sure he knows that. And anybody who would take on a role like that would just have to know. that it's going to be difficult. So anyway, I don't recommend following Henry Cavill in a character if you can.
No, it's like whoever is going to play. Although you know what. Was it Tyler Hoechlin has done really well as Superman on the small screen.
Right, on the small screen, different show, different requirements. He didn't really follow Henry Cavill. It's a different kind of thing.
So whoever is the new movie version of Superman, which will happen whether it's now or in the future, is, unless they like really rest it for a long time, it's going to have it's like
whoever the new James Bond is going to have a hard time following Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig did an excellent job and put his stamp on the role. I mean, the great thing about, and we've talked about this before, but the great thing about Daniel Craig's incarnation of Bond is that he started from nothing. He started as the blunt instrument and refined James Bond through his entire run as the character, and did a fantastic job. And it's going to be hard to follow that, which is why they should go in a totally different direction, as we talked about before.
Hopefully they will, and it sounds like what they're looking for is someone that will play him for a decade, and it sounds like they will do. If that's the case, I would imagine they'll do some kind of like throughput storyline like they did with Daniel Craig. But it's going to be
smart too. That was good storytelling to make a through line for him to experience things and
told a complete story. And I thought it was for the first time with Bond, and I thought it was really great. But you're right, it's going to be, to me, that's kind of like the definitive Bond storyline. And of course they won't because they're making money off of it. But if they were like, that's it, we're done.
No, they'll be up.
Yeah, that would
James Bond will return, Joe.
Yeah, well, they even said that at the end of that movie, of the last one. It was like, wait, what?
Even though spoilers, he dies.
Yeah, and then at the very end, James Bond will return. It's like, he regenerates into David Tennant. No, I'm just kidding.
He regenerates into Liam Hemsworth.
Yes, that's going to be Liam Hemsworth's career now, is going around.
Yeah, that's why Henry Cavill can't do The Witcher season 3, because it's going to regenerate into Henry Cavill as James Bond.
Oh, there we go. Yes,
dude.
It'll be the final bit of season 3 of Witcher. It'll fade to black, and you hear the beginning of the
yeah, exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, the other thing we forgot about, Secret Invasion.
Oh yes.
More Marvel shit.
I was going to say, speaking of Daniel Craig, the Knives Out sequel, but that I guess technically comes out at the end of December, so that's not 2023. But
no, I've heard good things. I haven't had a chance.
But I'm looking forward to that. I did not go see that in the theater.
It's sitting there waiting for me. I just haven't watched it yet. I don't know. I like those kind of movies, but I don't think Knives Out was like an amazing revelation. It's no Brick. I think he peaked at Brick, honestly. If you're talking about those kind of murder mystery type shows, I think Brick was his best. I'm sorry to say, Rian Johnson.
Man.
Your best movie was your first movie.
No, Last Jedi was his best movie.
Right, exactly.
I'm just trying to
So
stir
do you
things
want
up
to?
there.
I know you're stirring the pot. Do you want to? I know we didn't really pick anything. We just talked about a lot, and I'm sure there's more things that are coming out. We'll get to, and we're also going to get to our best of 2023 episode pretty soon.
Best of 2022.
I'm sorry, did I say 2023?
Yeah.
I did. Best of
It's like,
2022.
wow, that would be. We're going to take the TARDIS, sticking with Doctor
From
Who
the future,
theme,
future,
and go to the
future,
future and watch everything, and then come back and tell you about it.
We're going to go to nowhere, man, and come back. So
Yeah,
I just watched the
man.
other day, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, a fine film.
It's such a good movie.
I appreciate it more now than I did when I saw it. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
Baby Groot does not grate on me as much on the smaller screen. So anyway,
I am
it's
Groot.
the whole scene with Rocket and Yondu is a great scene.
It is.
When they're prisoners, and everybody hates you, and blah blah blah. It's really interesting, and I love the fact that they were able to develop Yondu as an actual character and not like a bad guy. He had like reasons for things. And
Yeah.
it was good for Rooker.
Well, they pushed that forward even in the holiday special, where the beginning animation sequence with Kraglin going, "Hey, it was terrible."
Yeah.
Turned out not really.
Not really. Yeah, I like Kraglin too. He's actually more, and of course Taserface, always a fun.
That was a nice shout out for Taserface. Taserface. Yeah.
Taserface. So you looked in the mirror and the name you came up with the most strike fear in your comrades was Taserface. Whatever, man.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah, Rocket's pretty fan. And I forgot that Rocket's such a badass actually, because of there's a sequence when he is on the planet when they crash the ship, and then Ego comes, and then like the Ravagers come to kidnap him or whatever. He like knocks a bunch of them out. He's really quite a good fighter.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but so I'm enjoying that, and it's interesting to go to watch this movie and see the relationship between Gamora and what's her face, and how
Nebula.
they hate each other.
Yeah.
Nebula, thank you, and how they hate each other, which is weird because they become so close in like all the Avengers movies and in Endgame and stuff. They're like on the same team, but at this point they still hate each other, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So, and this is old Gamora too. It's not new Gamora, I guess, or alternate reality Gamora.
So like New Coke and
New Coke, yeah. So,
yes.
and she and Quill don't really love each other at this point, although Quill loves her. And it's also I forgot so many things. It's the introduction of Mantis too. I was like, wow, I forgot that.
Yeah.
I feel like Mantis has always been with them, but then no, she's here
Exactly.
in this movie.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And Kurt Russell's got great hair too. That guy.
He does. And
What a dick. And it's still his own hair too, I'm sure. Anyway, so we'll do that, and we'll move on to some picks, I guess.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about best of 2022 next week or the week after. So hold on to your butts.
And then next year we'll do the best of 2023.
Right, that's how it should work. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to predict right now, though, the best of 2023 is going to be Dune Part 2.
Part D.
And maybe Oppenheimer. And then I'm talking about movies now. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be a tearjerker. I think that there's going to be some dry, some wet eyes in the audience, and never a dry seat in the house.
Whoa, hey.
As someone like
That's again, you're talking about different movies, man.
I know. I always think that's funny when I hear that. And that's going to be emotional, I think. And then but I think Dune Part 2, I'm really looking forward to that. If I have to pick something I'm the most excited about, I think it's probably Dune Part 2. I just want to see Denis Villeneuve fulfill his vision of the Dune movies. But also Guardians 3 too.
Yeah, Guardians 3. I'm very, like I said, I'm apprehensive yet also excited to see how James Gunn wraps up that storyline.
Yeah.
I just
like I said, it's gonna be poignant, and you're gonna cry. People are gonna be upset and sad, and
you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $25 goodbye.
It's not gonna be a complete happy ending.
No.
I don't think.
Well, again, what kind of movies are you talking? Man, come on, keep it clean.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
What? I didn't say happy ending.
Yeah, you did.
Not that kind of movie. Anyway, what's your pick? What's your pick this week, dude?
I'm going back to comic books for my pick.
Comic books, dude. Yeah. Woo.
I'm gonna pick the Avengers title, the main Avengers title from Marvel Comics.
Sure.
Right now, it's been so for the last about 4.5 years. It's been written by the same guy, Jason Aaron, who has written a lot of Avengers comics.
He owes me money.
He has been crafting a very fantastic Avengers storyline, and he's now to the end of his run. And this is a storyline. He's got a grand finale that's crossing over with another Avengers comic called Avengers Forever. But he's really kind of built this whole storyline this whole time, and it's all kind of coming to a culmination here. And it's just been, I admit I've kind of fallen behind, so I've been catching up lately so that I can read the new storyline. But it's just great writing, fantastic. People you wouldn't think would be Avengers, like Blade and Ghost Rider, have been part of this storyline. And it's just, if you like really good, well plotted out, in advance storylines, this is a good thing for you to do, to read. And like I said, it's a culmination of about 5 years of story. So it's a little crazy, and he's getting to go out in a bang, and it's very rare.
Go out in a bang, huh? Talk about you, me talking.
Yeah. It's very rare to have, one creative team or even one writer on comics for any length of time nowadays, because they're always restarting, or some kind of crisis or earth universe shattering event happens, and things get rewritten. But so seeing this guy be the writer for the last 5 years has been pretty fantastic. And it's great comics, and it's the Avengers too, so good stuff to read. So check it out, the Avengers.
Yeah, I like Jason Aaron. He wrote some of my favorite Punisher Max stuff, which I enjoy, and that was cool. And he has a really good creator-owned book, Southern Bastards. If you've never read that, that's really good too. If you're into creator-owned stuff.
Yes.
But his run on Avengers is, I haven't kept up with it very much, but I have the Punisher Max book. Actually, if you could see my office, it's right behind me on my bookshelf.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I enjoyed his stuff, so that's great. I'm glad that this kind of, he's getting that kind of recognition and getting a chance to do so. He won it's an amazing story. If you think about it, he won a talent contest for Marvel.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's how he started. And that gives hope to people. When Marvel back, I don't know if they do talent search contests anymore, but maybe they do. But
he wrote, previous to this too, he wrote a really good run on Incredible Hulk. He wrote an Avengers versus X-Men miniseries, and also a company-wide crossover called Original Sin. And there's a lot of kind of threads from those previous stories. It's kind of like he's bringing everything that he previously wrote all together in this. And paying off a lot of things in this storyline. So, if you've been reading Marvel comics for a while, he also wrote the Valkyrie, Jane Foster Valkyrie series too, and that plays a part in this. She's part of the story. So it's, I don't know, it's really great to see someone have like a master plan and be able to pay it off, especially at a place like Marvel that's ready to, like I said, reboot comics every couple of years. So Avengers.
I've been reading. I've been reading Marvel comics since the 70s. Does that count?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. The only other interesting thing I wanted to say about Jason Aaron is that his cousin is Gustav Hosford, who wrote the book The Short Timers, which the movie Full Metal Jacket is based on. So
interesting.
That's a weird segue to Full Metal Jacket and all that, but I don't know why I brought that up, but I thought it was interesting. So
anyway. He has good writing in his blood, is what you're saying.
He does, yeah. If you're a Kubrick fan, I don't know that Full Metal Jacket is my favorite Kubrick film, but it's still, it must. As a writer, if you wrote a book and Stanley Kubrick wanted to adapt it, that had to feel good.
I would think so. Yes.
It's like, wow, really? Okay.
Sure. Do what you...
sure, man.
You got to know someone like Stanley Kubrick is like, I want to make a movie on your book, but I'm going to do it my way and probably rewrite.
Well, but not just that, but it's like whatever his successful, his monetary success, he was Stanley fucking Kubrick. And people were like, I'm sure throwing things at him to get him to adapt and do. And the fact that he took a long time between films and decided to make this had to have been amazing. And I actually know people who worked on Full Metal Jacket, and they were like, it was Like my one friend's like Full Metal Jacket bought my house. It's like it took forever. Yeah. It took forever to make. I was in England for a year making this thing.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't know why that was interesting to me, but I just wanted to throw it out because I'm a huge Kubrick fan, as I know you are. So
we'll see. Then you should really read this run on the Avengers by Jason Aaron. So which
has nothing to do with Kubrick. But yeah. I don't know. I would have loved to have seen a Stanley Kubrick Avengers film, though. That would have been interesting.
That would have been. That'd be. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I think he would have done. I think he would have done something amazing.
I want to see an Oliver Stone Marvel movie.
Exactly. I don't know. I think they should give, just as an experiment, Tarantino should direct a Marvel film.
Yeah.
Scorsese should direct a Marvel film.
That's beneath them. They wouldn't do that.
So. They would. They would for money.
Yeah, they would.
But they have to be like hard R. So like Tarantino should do the next Daredevil movie. Or I'm sorry, the next Deadpool. I always say Daredevil, but I mean Deadpool.
They should have let Tarantino do like a Morbius or like Marvel horror movie because.
Oh, dude, I would totally watch. Yeah, I would totally. Awesome. He could do the Lobo. He could do the fucking Lobo.
That's DC though. It's not Marvel.
Oh, that's a good point.
But still, I would totally watch that. Anyway, your pick.
Anyway, my pick is not unusual, but and before the show, I was talking about my friend who does these skateboarding zines. Anyway, my pick is his zine. It's called Chimpanzine.
Nice.
It's basically his name is Wes, and he goes to different parts of the country, less traveled parts of the country, and he works with skateboarders, and he's a skateboarder himself, and he makes the magazine for that town. Like the one I'm holding in my hand is the Austin version of his magazine Chimpanzine. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him different places, but he is. We were talking about being totally dedicated to your dreams. He basically, this is his dream. He wants to make this magazine or zine, and he wants to, so he does it. That's all he does. He goes to different parts of the country, takes the photos, writes the words, interviews the skaters, whatever, basically on his own, makes enough money to move on to the next thing. He's living, not on the streets, but on the road kind of, and just doing this. It's his passion. And I think that's just super cool. So, it's a really well photographed zine. It's really, he's a good writer, and it's a super interesting. But I admire the dedication and the obsession, because we talked about how obsession beats talent sometimes.
Yep.
And Joe and I talked about that before the show, but it's just that kind of dedication to something that you love and that passion you put into it. Maybe he'll become a huge success. I don't know, but I think he feels like he's successful in his own way, where he gets to live like this and do basically what he wants to do and what he loves. So that's super cool. So anyway, if you can find it, there's been different. This is issue 8. I think he did one in Phoenix. He did one in like parts of Colorado, and then Austin and places like that. So I don't know where all of them are, but you can find it online, I'm sure, and find out if it's coming to your town. But he did a release. A zine release party event here at No Comply Skate Shop, which is a kick-ass skate shop if you ever come to Austin, by the way. And it was really a big success, so good for him. Anyway, That's my pick, Chimpanzine.
Okay, cool.
Magazine. Yeah. I like to support that kind of stuff. My other pick was something else, but I'll pick that next week. So
he's got a...
I had 2 this week.
He's got a contact thing on his page. We should talk to him about being on the show. That'd be fun.
Well, I see him all the time, so I could...
Well, there you go.
Him.
So, anyway,
but yeah, it's cool. I love that's something that I've always admired. It's like, because I kind of did that for a long time. I kind of just did what I wanted to do and tried to make my way. It just like push forward, following my dream. And I know that sounds cliche, but and some people could say, "Hey, you achieved your dream already. You left on your own terms or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's just a younger guy, and he's like, out there doing it, man, and that's fucking cool. So anyway,
nice.
Like you and me in this show, no one, even if no one listens, which I don't know if anybody does. I mean, I know a few hundred people. Actually, I think we're over 1,000 people subscribing every month now or whatever.
That is very
something
cool.
like that, or maybe more. I don't even know. I'm not really keeping track of the numbers, but people listen, and even if they don't, I still enjoy it. So
exactly.
I mean, if you're listening and you want to support the show, you can certainly give us a rating or review at Apple, and of course, you can find the show at Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Good Pods and wherever the hell you find things. And if you're already listening, then obviously you already found the show. But you can go to our website and find that out, flickcast.com. You can go to Instagram. We're still on the Twitters. We're still on Mastodon. wherever else. But you can go to our link tree if you want to know other things, etc. Rate and review the show. We'd appreciate it. Joe and I are still on the socials. What Joe writes, I'm mostly Chris Yu or Ulrich Picks at Instagram because Chris Yu was taken by some other asshole. But whatever.
Let's go beat that guy.
I'm gonna find that guy and beat the shit out of him. And it also it's always a sore point for me because I cannot get chrisulrich.com. Some fucker parked that domain like 25 years ago, and I still haven't been able to get it.
Gee, do they actually do anything with it? I'm not.
No, it comes up. It comes up nothing. It comes up nowhere.
That
and
asshole.
It's like, sell me the fucking domain, and like, nope, they won't sell it to me. I've been trying to get it for my entire, for 10 years at least, maybe 15. So I'm chrisulrich.net, which is where my blog was for so long. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just annoying that they won't do anything with it. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think so.
Anything else, Joe, that you can think of, or we'll,
No, that was a great show.
It was. I feel good about it. All right, so for Joe Dilworth, I'm Chris Ulrich. That was the Flickcast. Thanks so much for listening.